Hey guys, it's your girl Miss Derby, aka the Land Queen, and on today's episode we have Chardeline joining us on how she's able to tackle real estate as a successful woman. Let's listen in.
I wanted to really invite you on this podcast today to really talk about, the different things that we go through as women in real estate, because you know that we go through a lot of stuff as women in real estate. It's not easy, right? So I wanted to jump in and just kind of talk to you and get your opinion and perspective on things, because I remember when talking to you initially when we first met, you had so many great opinions and so much feedback, and it's almost like I was learning from you on the one-on-one you booked with me.
Oh.
So I was like, I need to invite this girl on a podcast and just kind of pick your brain, because you have such good opinions and ideas on different topics. So I wanted to really bring you on and talk about that. So just to start off, where are you from?
Thank you so much for just seeing that and saying, okay, well, let me have her on here. I'm not saying surprise, but I was definitely like, yes, of course, I had to make it. So now, where am I from? I am actually from Haiti. I was born in Haiti. So that's another thing that I was like, okay, she's Haitian. Okay, that's dope. Right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? Being from Haiti definitely gave me my drive, because I see my father, like, he owned a business and he worked hard. And, I go to Haiti all the time. It humbles me when I go back. So when I come back here, it's like I have to grind. I have to keep going, because I do want to go back and give more and do more. I left Haiti 8 and then came to Miami, and so I'm from Miami pretty much, but home is Haiti for me.
Oh, wow. I love that. So what was life for you before you decided to come into real estate? What were you doing beforehand?
Before I decided to come into real estate, I was really like a stay-at-home mom.
Oh, okay.
I did the stay-at-home mom thing because I had my first son at 27, but I had already graduated college, grad school. I pledged Delta.
Oh, wow.
And I got pregnant at 27. So I was a mom from 27. I'm still a mom, but, for a stay-at-home mom, cooking and doing all that extra stuff. I was really being domestic out here, okay? But I knew that God had so much more for me, because I'm a boss, okay?
Yes.
That's basically what I was doing. So I was basically being a caregiver, a nurturer before I got into real estate.
Did you always want to be in real estate, or is it something?
No. I didn't. The only real estate I wanted to do is buy a house with a picket fence. That's it, and live happily ever after with my family. Basically, a relationship door had closed, and I was able to talk to this friend, and then he said, hey, this is what I'm doing. I quit my job. When you hear people say they quit their job, I'm like, and this person, I trusted this person, and so he was very calculative. So I said, okay, let me check it out.
Did you get a real estate license?
No, I did not need a real estate license at all.
Okay, so you didn't get your real estate license. You just jumped right into what? Like, what part of real estate you're talking about?
So basically being more of an investor, okay? So wholesaling. So I started learning about wholesaling, and which is basically what all investors do, right? It's just a strategy that they use, back then, which was about...
Yeah, when was this?
2017.
Okay, that's when everyone was getting in, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But that was when the first people started coming in, And so when I went to the meeting, what made me want to get into the wholesaling was I saw people like me doing it. And I was like, if he could do it, I wasn't even trying to talk bad about my friend, but I was like, well, girl, if he could do it, if she could do it, I could do it.
Yeah. Okay, so you got in on the wholesaling side, not the realtor side.
No.
So when did you get a real estate license, and what made you get that?
People been trying to get me to join their team, because once you're good at something, people know you.
Yeah, the brokers and stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
So they paid for me before to do a class. I just was like, no, because I sat in this class and I realized I was making so much money without having, I was like, no, I can't. I left. Like, I literally left the class and said, I'm making way more money. I think I had closed the deal around that time for $20,000.
Wow.
And then another deal for $50,000. I was like, what do I need a license for? I don't need this.
Yeah.
So what made me get my license is thinking bigger. I love condos. I love, Sunny Isles. Miami is really big. So on Sunny Isles and Miami Beach and Brickell, I love condos. And so I said to myself, why not get it? Because I've sent deals, like opportunities, to other realtors.
Oh, wow.
And the people I've sent to them haven't been so happy about it, you know?
They would rather have worked with you
Exactly.
if you had the license. Got it.
Right. And so I said, you know what? This time around, I said, you know what? Maybe God is saying there's more opportunities for you in real estate. I need you to get your real estate license, you know? And so I listened. I had someone else pay for me again. And listen, when you're good, let them pay for you. Okay. Let them invest in you. That's how you know it's real. So I had them pay for me. And basically that was it. I studied for a week.
You got it.
And I got it. I told myself I got to get it before December. I studied for a week. The Saturday after Thanksgiving, I went back and took the test.
Wow.
And I passed.
Yeah, because everyone always says the real estate test is really hard.
You know what? It's not that hard. You just really have to study. And what I did was when I first went for my first test, I knew I wasn't going to pass. I just went to see what was on the test. It's $35.
Oh, wow.
So I said, okay, just pay $35. What's $35 to know
what's on the test?
What's going
to
be on the test?
Studying.
Yeah. And so that's what happened. The next test I took, I had a 72. You needed a 75. So I went from 52 to 72. Right. And then I kept like missing it by 1 point. And then I just took a break. And then
you got it.
I got it.
So it didn't take you right away. It took you like
no, it took me like, because I was not playing. I was coming back every day.
Damn, girl. Determination.
That's how I am. I'm like, no, I got to get this. I only had a week. My kids was gone for the week.
Oh, okay. Like
so I said, I got to get it in right now. But people don't even understand. You know, they think that when you accomplish things, they think that it's just, it happened so easy for you.
But they don't see it.
And it's like, no, it did not. You don't even know what I went through to get to that point. Anyways.
So yeah. So as far as like you said you had kids. So like how is it being like a mom, like, you know, juggling children and also entrepreneurship?
It's hard. It is hard because I felt like at times I had to choose to be a mom or to work. And I hated that, you know?
Yeah.
I told myself I can't do that to them. It's not fair to them. But they understand and they're so independent. But I still got to give them that time because they're boys and they do want their mom. They do want, you know, because you always hear nowadays men always have like mama issues or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I don't want my kids to have mama issues. So I give them a lot of love and, you know, I give them affirmations, whatever it is. But, you know, it was hard. One of my real estate deals, my third deal, it was a triple deal. It was a house and 2 pieces of land next to it. And when I got it, it was from Driving for Dollars. I didn't even know the 2 land next to it. I was looking at the house. I wasn't even knowing that he owned all 3. And it was a state deal. His father passed away. He was the only child. He didn't have a wife. He didn't have nobody. So to him, the properties, he didn't care about them because he had a business already that Miami Gardens was trying to buy for him for like millions of dollars. And he said no. So I ended up driving around for my church, saw the property, looked up the property information, which is free.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I just found the man. I was not going to stop until I found the man's house. And I found his house. I went, I talked to him. He told me he wasn't selling until November. It was the summer. And I'm like, to November? I'm like, okay. Damn. And I came back. You know, between November and then I kept stopping by because he owns a nursery that sells plants and grass. I would come and buy a plant every month.
Look at you. Dang, setting up the rapport right there.
Listen, do you know how many people, like I was the only woman looking at that deal. Do you know how many men were like, these men, I could have been really like, you know, as a woman in real estate, it's intimidating sometimes because they have more tenure than us. They have more seniority than us. They've been in, and then sometimes too, like they're from other countries. They're Argentinian, they're, you know, they're Spanish. So it's different. I'm a Black Haitian girl, you know, so it's different. And so I was able to get the deal. When he gave me the deal, I was so grateful. You know, I'm very grateful for God. So it's like, I was so grateful. And I had a business partner of mine that came from the same association. After I got the deal, he's like, how did you do that? How did you get that? Me and my brother been after this deal for 2.5 years. I send my brother over there every week.
Wow.
And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I said, God, to be honest with you, I was just like, I was able to close those 3 deals right before the New Year's happened. So I walked into the New Year. It's always good to walk into the New Year with money, okay? Because most people don't walk into the New Year with money.
Yeah.
I walked into the New Year with like $35,000. So I was like, you know what? My first year in wholesaling, I did about 80,000.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah. From somebody like my first year, I didn't make nowhere near that much. Like I was struggling to close deals. I probably closed 3 deals in my first year. It was so hard.
If you count that as one deal, because it was a triple deal, then I did 3 deals. But it was 14,000, 20,000, and I think it was like, a little bit over 30 something thousand. And I was like, wait, I don't have to do that much. I only need these 3, and I was able to still make this much. So the next year I went ham.
Yeah, it gets addicting too. Are you doing this on your own, or do you have a team, or do you have like a virtual assistant?
I kid you not. Me and God. I'm like a one-man team, but I'm looking now. I am hiring because it's when you're hiring, you got to make sure that the money you putting in is coming out. And I'm the type of person, if I put money in, I need money to come out, you know? And so I'm about to hire actually one of my first virtual assistants, but this one's going to be different because this one already know the vibes already. They're already like trained. They're like little robots ready to go.
Yeah, ready to go.
You know?
I love those ones that are kind of already trained in real estate.
What?
Because like train a VA is like, it could be really difficult, especially if they don't understand like how to do certain things. Like you almost got to babysit them for a while. But
I don't have time for that.
Yeah, I don't either.
we got to make money. I need you to come ready to go.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. So I really wanted to touch on an important fact that's just, you know, in the real estate space in general. So as far as being a woman in real estate, I noticed for me when I got into the space, a lot of people didn't take me serious. I had to prove myself constantly. And then once I finally proved myself, I felt like I could finally get the praise that I deserved after putting so much time and sacrifice into real estate. So for you, how is it being a Black woman in real estate?
You know what it is? I think that initially when we walk into the room, we don't look so, I'm not going to say terrifying, or because we don't want to look terrifying. No. But we don't look like we're competition. Because we walk in and we're like
soft and
you
elegant.
know, we're like and they're like, oh, who's that? Like, what's her name? Whose wife is that? Or something like that, or whatever, right? But I think for me, coming into real estate, you know, once I open my mouth, people was like, oh, who is that? Like, she got something to say. Because when I speak about certain things I am passionate about, you could tell it's like she's not faking it. You get me? And then I'm very humble, so you wouldn't even know. But when I open my mouth, it's like, what's your name? What's your number? I remember I was in my building and this guy, he wasn't even like paying attention. He was a realtor. He wasn't paying attention to me. But I think after he heard me get off the phone and I was really kind of like negotiating a deal, like when I tell you, he was not looking at me like I was anything. But once he heard me get off the phone, he wanted to take me to lunch. He's like, oh, can I take you to lunch? Because they want to know what you know. You know what I mean? And so I feel like we are underestimated as women in real estate. But listen, we really we're coming for the top. We're really at the top, period, you know? And so I think that, you know, it's just men embracing it and just people embracing it, even women embracing themselves to even get into real estate and don't feel like, oh, it's a man's world or it's a man's business. That is not true. Like, it's sexy. That's something you could add to your household. That's something that's legacy because real estate will always be here. Real estate will always be here.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like too, being a woman in real estate, that there's a lot of like, you know, setting boundaries with men. I feel like has to be done because you know how guys are.
We're not going to talk.
Always trying to, you know, it's just like, listen, I know that I'm a very attractive person, but we don't be doing all that, right?
Right.
Always trying to stay professional with it because it can get really ugly.
It really can. And I was just telling myself, I said, if you're trying to get in real estate and you're a woman period. You know, I'm not going to say beautiful women. I feel like every woman is beautiful in their own right. But if you're a woman, period, like you got to come in professional. You got to come in knowing that like they're going to try to be extra nice to you and everything. And they're going to try to take $10,000 off of your kid's mouth, okay, your food that's coming to you because you want to be extra nice. So you want the 10,000 going to them because they want to be extra nice. They want to tell you how you this or you that. You like, yeah, you can have it for 80,000. No, you cannot. It's 100.
We ain't cutting no discounts.
Ain't no discount.
No,
I'm gonna go to the top.
Pay more.
Right, you need to pay more. You know, so I just think that with women and men in real estate, it's just have boundaries, and you know you want to be respected in this industry. Yeah, because people talk and people will say, oh, this is this person, this is that. You want, when they talk about you, they're like, yeah, she fine, but she about her business,
and she has her standards.
Like, don't even play with her, she's not the one.
Yeah. Did you wholesale land before you got your license at all, or after you got your license?
No, I wholesale land before I got licensed.
Okay, and how was your experience wholesaling land? Because you know, the Landing the Deal podcast, we got to talk about your deals with land too.
Right. So I think that land is easier because the house is different. Like,
wait. You said what? What's easier?
Land is easier.
Okay.
Houses are a little, it's more difficult because if you have tenants, if someone lives there, like there's issues. Like sometimes the tenants don't want you to see the property and you know, then you got investors coming in and they want all these discounts. With land, it's so simple. It's like
you want or you don't.
Exactly.
Like we ain't got no discounts.
Right. And so I think that with land, it is more simpler. But I just feel like for me, I like both because I kind of like the whole coming in and looking at the house and look a mess. And then I come back and the investor like made it look amazing or whatever. And even just land too, seeing the builder build, you know, a house. Yeah. My first year, I did 2 lands and I didn't really know about system, but it was a builder that purchased 2 lands. I went through a realtor to get those builders. So they ended up buying the 2 lands from that triple deal, and someone I knew bought the house. And she told me, she was like, girl, that house with the city, it was so much to get permits to do this. Wow. You know, because the house is a little bit more difficult, to be honest, because you already have a structure. They already have an idea of how the house is going to look. So you trying to do extra stuff. They're like, no, you're going to need this. You're going to need this. Versus land, you're starting from scratch. Yeah. So you could really do whatever you want. Yeah. So, okay, land is easier and I do get paid faster.
Yes, ma'am. The coins, that's all it's about.
Okay? The coins do be coming like hitting. Like, listen, I'm waiting on some coins now. Okay. Yes. So
now you said you like doing walkthroughs on houses, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so do they take you serious? Because when I walked into properties during walkthroughs for houses, they never took me serious. They literally looked me up and down like, this black girl do not know what it costs to fix this roof, this AC. I had no idea what I was doing. And they definitely read that all over my face. What about you? What's your experience?
I came in, I faked it till I made it.
She said, I'm faking it till I make it.
Listen, how do they know you don't know if they don't know?
So you have like a good poker face.
Listen, I may be shivering on the inside, but when I walk in there, I'm like looking, I'm taking the pictures. Listen, I actually went to several houses, even though I didn't wholesale any one of them, but it's the experience for me because then I started to see what they would say and how they would move and how investors would do. And so, you know, I will walk in there with just the confidence, but then you know what? It's like there were people that was just like, I just like you. I just want to work with you. I don't know what it is about you, but I like you. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so with the triple deal, the owner, we was not even talking about houses. We were talking about health.
Oh, wow.
We were talking about his father. The man even told me that he was a virgin. I was like, oh my God.
Oh my God, girl. She got him that comfortable.
Listen, I said, okay, this is what in the hell? Too far. Okay, you're a virgin.
Boundaries.
The boundaries, like, you know, but, you know, even though we had a good conversation, and our conversation, he was allowing everybody else to go into the house without him. He's like, you could go in, because he was so focused on our conversation. I didn't take that as, oh, I'm going to get it. I still had to be the highest bidder. And then, you know, I use my skills, and I got a good $80,000 reduction.
Woo.
So, God definitely helped me out.
Mhm.
But to get an $80,000 reduction to be able to sell these lots, these properties, was just amazing. So one thing about wholesaling, one thing about deals, you always ask for a reduction. I don't care if it's the day of, you got to ask them big, 5,000, 2,000, 10,000, because if you don't ask, you're not going to know that they're not going to give it to you.
Yeah. I do notice, I feel like, I always say this, like Caribbean people, Spanish people, they know how to negotiate. Yes. And I feel like that's probably something that you have. I wasn't granted that special gift, unfortunately, because when I first got into real estate, I was so intimidated about asking for a reduction. I always wanted to just please the seller and give them what they want up front. If they wanted that, I'm like, oh, okay, that means, even if that means I'm getting a smaller assignment fee, I'm willing to say whatever. But like, it looks like with you, you're like, no, like, you're not going to get that price. We're going to have to get a reduction. Yeah. So I have a question for you.
Sure.
I've worked with Haitian sellers before, especially the ones from like South Florida, like Port St. Lucie, West Palm. And just like being Haitian, has that had any advantages for you or any disadvantages when working with other Haitian sellers? I have a very specific reason why I asked that question.
Honestly, a lot of my sellers haven't been Haitians. However, I had one that really, I had to be like, file the notice of interest and walk away. Because it was a lot. She was talking about what she was about to do to me and how she was gonna how she was gonna
for some T Lugos.
Yes, like she was about to do like, and then my mama had passed away, so I'm like, I ain't got my mama to fight for me, so I had to say, you know what? These people are willing to do whatever they got to do for these houses. I got kids. I got responsibilities. This deal is not worth it. File a notice of interest and walk away.
Oh, my God. I am so glad that you said that, because the reason why I'm asking is because every single time I work with other Haitian sellers and they find out that I'm Haitian, and they tell me all their sob stories about how their kids and they're sick and their legs are swollen and they need the extra money to do this. You get under contract with them and then they, oh, come on, give me like another $10,000. And I'm like, that's not how it works. Once we sign the contract, and it's almost like they're giving me all these excuses now why they don't want to move forward. So I was like, going forward, I'm literally never telling any that I'm not Haitian.
You don't need to tell them you're Haitian. Like, for real. Like, seriously, they know how to speak English and Spanish, some of them. And you don't need to tell them you're Haitian. I love my Haitian people. I love y'all hearts. But some of them like to take advantage of people. Of course. I heard they don't pay realtors. They don't want to pay realtors. I've had to pay realtors just to get the deal, which the realtors helped me get the deal, but I've had to literally say, don't worry about it, I got you, because I feel like at the end of the day, the relationship is worth more than the $2,000 I'm giving her. She's like, oh my God, you gonna pay me? And I'm like, yes, because they didn't want to pay her. So I feel like our Haitian people got to do better. It's like, this is not
the older generation.
Shit.
Okay.
This is not Timache. This is not, what is it called? La Ville in Haiti. Because that's where they bargain at. They bargain for everything. And it's like, no, you guys got to stop it.
Yep, the older generation. That's what it is, girl.
They got to stop it.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm never doing that again. So the girlies and I want to know, what is your morning routine like? I'm always big on asking that because I want to see what you're doing to set the tone.
Okay, so before I even open my eyes, I'm like thanking God.
Okay, prayer.
I'm like praying. I'm like talking to God. I'm like just getting myself together to get up. And then afterwards, I have a Bible app. So my Bible app gives me the verse of the day. So I listen to the verse of the day. After that, I get up. I make my bed. I go, I brush my teeth, wash my face, and then I wake up my kids. I'm like, good morning, boys. Good morning. And of course, it's a tussle. Okay. They never want to go to sleep early and they never want to wake up. So pick your battles. So I wake them up, get them dressed. Sometimes we have breakfast. Sometimes they don't want anything.
Okay.
And then we're on our way to school. Always they need snacks. So I always make sure they have snacks and water. And then it's on the way to school. I drop them off and I'm on the track right after.
Okay, so you take workouts really seriously.
Yes.
Then. Okay.
So I feel like even if it's just walking, I'm on the phone working. At the same time, I'm sending emails. I'm following up certain people. I'm on the phone talking to certain people. It helps me to, one, stay fit, but also walking is good for you. I feel like you have to have a morning routine, somewhat of a morning routine, or you're not going to be fulfilled, you know? And so after I work out, because working out is for me, because I feel like when you do work out, it builds you up mentally, which helps you in your business as well.
Facts.
You know? And so I feel like working out is for me. And so sometimes I'm like, man, like, am I going to go straight into making money, or am I going to take care of myself for 30 minutes? And so I walk about 3 to 4 miles a day. Oh, wow. And then I come back and I go home, shower, get myself together, and we're ready. But I've already started working though. While I'm walking,
you're working too.
I've been working. And that's why I love about wholesaling, because you could be anywhere doing this. You could be at home. You could be at the gym. You could be on vacation. This is not a business where you feel like, oh my God, I have to go to work. Yeah. It's like, it feels like you're on vacation all the time, because your work is really on the phone. And if you may need to do a contract, but the computer, the laptop is right there. You can take it everywhere. Yeah. So it's good to be able to work remotely. And, you know, honestly, after all of that, I have to pick up my son at 1:50. I have to pick him up at 2 different times. So there's times where I take my laptop and I'm sitting in the car for an hour working.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
While waiting for my kids. So there's no excuse. You know, I feel like there's no excuses. I take my kids to showings. I take my kids when we got to go look at houses. We go to closings. My son even told me, Mommy, we're here to get some money, right? I'm like, oh God.
He already know. Get him trained early.
He already know. He started his own business. He was able to buy his own iPhone cash.
Oh, wow.
You know, selling yo-yos. Because he's already a businessman. It's just seeing me and how I move. I say, what do you want to be when you grow up? He said, I want to be a seller.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
So what advice do you have for single moms that are probably watching this, who are looking to get started into real estate but don't know kind of where to get started or what to get their foot into?
My advice, honestly, is that with wholesaling, you can do this part-time. You don't always have to do it full-time. You don't have to quit your job. I always tell people that. First of all, don't quit your job, sis.
Don't do it. Don't do it when you first start. Like,
yeah, like don't do it when you first start. And if you're not about that life for real, sis, if you're really not about that life, you got to be about that life.
Yeah.
Quit your job. You got to know that you about to get it. You get what I'm saying? You got to put that pressure, and you got to put that, listen, don't do it, sis. Don't quit your job.
Yeah.
But I would say get in. I feel like, you know, with wholesaling, it's actually a great opportunity to learn more, to become more, because wholesaling gave me the opportunity to learn more about rehabbing and learn more about just how the business is ran and, you know, meet new people, network. So if someone was to come in, they're like a single mom, I would say get you a mentor. Number one, don't try to do it by yourself. You know, like it's going to take you a long time. I'd rather pay $300, $400, $500, $1,000, $5,000 to really get the game. I've paid $10,000 to get game. You get me? Wow. Like I remember spending $50,000 a year for knowledge, for personal development. And so if you are able to come in and you spend $1,000, $2,000 or $200, right? And be able to make a good $5,000, $10,000 extra a month,
it's worth it.
It's definitely worth it. It's worth it. And not only is it worth it, it's duplicatable.
Yeah, you could do this literally rinse and repeat.
And not only that, you can end up teaching other people as well. Because, you know, I used to hear people say, be fruitful and multiply mean to have kids. I say, hold on, wait a minute. Y'all tripping. Be fruitful, multiply is you be fruitful, you know, and then you multiply, you help other people do the same thing. And so I commend you for helping people get into the land business, get into the wholesaling business of land, because it is very up and coming market. And this is the time for people to really tap in, because wholesaling houses is already big, you know, because then you got the rehabbers and stuff like that. But then wholesaling land is something that's not so big. So you have such a great opportunity to come in and make a lot of money and learn and be in different areas, be in different networks or whatever. So, and you could do it from home.
Yeah, 100% virtual. That's the best part. Now, have you had any business partners, or are you doing this like solo?
I haven't had business partners, but I've done joint ventures.
Okay. Are you maybe like one day wanting to get a business partner, or do you feel like that's not something you're interested in?
I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't, but we will have to align.
Yeah.
We will have to have the same values. And, at the end of the day, when you have a business partner, it's like whatever they're great at, it's like, let them be great at that. You get what I mean? And whatever I'm great at, let me be great at that. And so like having that trust,
collab,
and that respect, I think that's the biggest thing. So I don't have a business partner yet, but I'm open to it,
What's your thoughts on mixing friends and business?
Friends and business, I don't think it's bad. Honestly, here's the deal. If I'm not making money with my friends, if we can't do really nothing together, it's kind of pointless in a way, because I'm always so ambitious. So like, girl, I'm going to help you make some money, even if it's just you saying, okay, I have $10,000 and it's just sitting there. And I'm like, all right, well, give it to me. And, I'm going to use it for something, and I'll give you back this much percentage, where I'm not using my money and I'm not using the bank's money, but I'm giving you less than what the bank would charge me. So for me, I'm more calculated, so I can help you like that. Or you may say, hey, my auntie is selling a house. Okay, no problem. I'll give you $1,000 or whatever as a reward.
As a referral too,
yeah. So it's like, those are certain things where I can make money with my friends, that way. Or if my friend decides to say, hey, I want to really come on board and do this, then it's like, okay, what do you have that you're going to bring that I could plug you into where I am, because I can't just...
What kind of values are you going to bring to the table?
Yeah, what values, what assets do you have? If you work at the city, oh, really? You don't have to do nothing. Send them to me, girl. Yeah. And listen, every deal you get in this amount of money. And sometimes you think working with friends and family, it's like bad. It's not that. Change your mindset and understand that we should all be making some type of money together or supporting each other some type of way. I had a friend from high school sent me his aunt. He said, hey, you still doing real estate? I'm like, yes, of course. He's like, my aunt is selling a house. And I was able to build rapport with her and her brother, because her brother was the one spearheading the whole thing, and have her cancel her listing because the property was in the market for a long time. It wasn't selling. And the truth is, it was either a short sale or I had to sell it to an end buyer that was going to live there.
Oh my God.
So I ended up saying, okay, let's short sell it. Right. And after we decided to short sell it, we listed it, because you have to list it when you short sell. End buyer came in and bought it. So it didn't, right. So they came in with equity, and they came in with the 203K loan where they got money to fix up the property.
Wow.
So I paid him. I gave him money for helping me out.
Yeah.
And now he sends me opportunities all the time. But that's a friend from college.
Wow. Okay.
That I was able to help make money with. So I don't feel like it's bad to make money with your friends. I think you should, even if it's just videography or photo
just
shoot,
small stuff like that.
It doesn't matter. We need to make some type. The money gotta, circulate, and because I don't want them to looking at me crazy. Like, I'm not finna pay for the meals all the time. Sis.
Okay, you gotta make more money. Okay,
yeah, let's go.
What opportunities has real estate given you? Being that because you've been in the game for how long now? What?
About 6 years.
6 years. Okay, so what opportunities has this given you being in real estate?
I would say being in real estate has given me the opportunity to really realize that, Chardeline, you've been in sales for so long that this is sales,
Yeah, sales and marketing.
Right,
basically.
Sales and marketing. And I've been in sales and marketing for so long because I work for really big companies and always go to the top of the companies. Like, Money Exchange, True Religion. I sold $1 million for True Religion.
Wow.
I was a pace setter for Nordstrom. That was my last job. And so for me, I thought it was weird how I stepped in and I was able to navigate. But I realized, no, I've been training for this all along.
Yeah.
So real estate really gave me the ability to say, you know what, you could really be bigger. You could do more, because it's not just the wholesaling that I'm seeing in the houses and the land. It's, where I live, where, these people are buying $2.3 million. Like now I'm using my license and say, hey, I don't want to sell houses. I want to sell condos. Now I get to choose what I want to do, because I'm not coming in as a not knowing nothing. I'm coming in as I know a lot. I have a lot to bring to the table. If I'm at a table, I can add value to the table, right? Because investors are always looking to invest,
of course.
And so I think it just brought me into a bigger spectrum of the whole opportunity realm of real estate. So it gave me more of I could really do bigger things. Now I'm thinking about developing and being a builder. Like I'm thinking about these type of things. And so it's just like, it actually expands your mind because real estate is so huge. There's so many different aspects of it.
Yep.
So I'm definitely grateful for that.
So what are you working on as far as your 5-year plan? What is your 5-year plan looking like?
So 5 years. I would say my 5-year plan is actually to have multiple businesses running. You know, whether it's land, you know, housing, whether it's short-term rentals with Airbnb. I really want to go into international where I'm going traveling internationally. And
for real estate? Oh,
yes.
Nice.
Yeah. I actually want to tap into Dubai as well.
Ooh, so I've been hearing a lot about Dubai lately.
Yeah, because, you know, Dubai don't have no taxes, no income tax, no property tax. So, and right now you could get a property for like 200, new construction for 200. And only have to put down maybe like 15 to 20%. So, and you could Airbnb it. So before it gets crazy, I want to tap in. But that's basically what I'm working on, building more of a structure in my business. Because, you know, to not have a very strict structure, I'm able to make multiple 6 figures every year. You know what I mean? So I know with a strict structure, I know I could 10x that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So what 3 tips do you have for a Black young woman trying to get into real estate? What kind of things would you advise her to do?
The first thing I would advise her to do is just believe in herself. You have to have belief. Without belief, it's nothing. There's some times where belief is the one that carried me to the closing table. Okay, and then afterwards, I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe this really happened. You know what I mean? So believe in yourself, number 1. Number 2, you have to take action. You know, you have to take action. You have to take action. Money like speed.
Yes. Especially in real estate.
Like speed, okay? Because that same property, somebody else is out there trying to get to the same buyer or to another buyer. So it's whoever is the most consistent and who is fast, but also to just believe that everything, if it's for you, it's for you. But don't mess up what's for you either. Okay. And then number 3, I would say be consistent.
Ooh, I love that. I'm so glad you said it.
Be consistent, because if you're consistent, the money will be more consistent. And, you know, understand that sometimes consistency doesn't always, you're not going to reap it right away, because sometimes during certain seasons, it's like investors, builders, everybody's trying to figure out what's going to happen, especially in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to see what's going to happen. So, you know, plant those seeds, be consistent at planting those seeds. And trust me, you will reap a harvest. I've had times where I didn't see anything from January, February, March. In April, May, I made $100,000.
Wow.
So keep planting them seeds. Keep showing up. Do not take, no for an answer. Don't take, oh my God, this is happening and, oh, this is over. No, it is not over until you say it's over. So just, like I said, be consistent, be persistent, and just believe in yourself for real. So what about you? What tips do you give?
I would say number 1 would be to educate yourself. I think a lot of people come into the space, learn just very basic surface level information about wholesaling, but don't really apply, themselves as far as learning everything that there could be to learn. YouTube has so much free information now. Like, you really don't need to take a course on wholesaling houses. Like, it's literally already in YouTube if you just continuously dig somewhere, right? And then number 2 would be networking. Networking is going to really help you develop great relationships with people that could literally take you to the next level if you are just in the same rooms with them. The third one would be fake it till you make it. Like, when I first started, I was able to get certain deals kind of similar to your situation because I acted like I knew what I was doing. I was not scared to jump into a room where people had more experience than me. That's a big one for me. Okay, so how can the girlies find you if they want to connect with you? And like, what do you offer? Anything? How can people work with you?
Currently, I do not offer any mentorships, but I do offer one-on-ones, because I feel like one-on-ones can really get somebody what to do, what to get started. I also do have an ebook as well.
Okay.
So I have an ebook that show you how to get started, but the one-on-one will be more in depth. Like,
Catering
what do you need to do? It's catered to you. It's going to be basically like, what does your life look like? And how are you going to add this into your life? And so I do that. And then I offer those two. And then, my Instagram, you guys can follow me on Instagram at Chardeline Vignier. All right. It is CHARDELINE VIGNE. Okay. It's Chardeline Vignier.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll make sure I tag her. I'll tag her down below.
Tag me, y'all. Tag me. Okay. And don't be afraid to send me a little DM or whatever it is. Like, I'm very cool and very humble. I do believe in helping other women and even men. My first student was a man. Definitely grateful for that. So
we appreciate you coming on and joining us, and I would love to see you soon in the future. Okay.
Yes, this was so fun. I'm so excited. Like, you guys do not want to miss this episode. I'm just letting you know.